You're funny. Humor is social currency. It signals intelligence, confidence, and emotional safety all at once. When you tell a woman she's funny, you're not just complimenting her jokes. You're validating her ability to create joy, to read a room, to connect through laughter. That's power. Most women grow up being told to be pretty, to be sweet, to be agreeable. Funny isn't on that list. So when you notice it, when you name it, something shifts. The compliment lands differently than expected. It says you see beyond her appearance into something she's built herself, her timing, her wit, her perspective. At first, she might laugh it off or deflect. That's the test. But internally, her brain logs it. You notice something most people miss. You're not like the others who only see surface. Then comes the peak. She starts performing for you. Not in a desperate way, but in a natural one. She wants to make you laugh again. She wants to prove you right. Humor becomes the language between you, a private code that bonds faster than attraction alone. Over time, though, the compliment loses its edge if it's all you offer. Funny becomes her role, her job, and if she's always the entertainer, she starts wondering if you see anything else. The compliment that made her feel seen can trap her in a box she didn't ask for. Humor opens the door, but it can't be the only room you notice. You're so talented. Talent is effort made visible. When you compliment a woman's talent, you're acknowledging something she's worked for, something she's poured time and energy into creating. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's hers. That distinction matters. Women are often praised for things they didn't choose: beauty, youth, charm. But talent, that's earned. So when you recognize it, the compliment cuts deeper. It says you respect her beyond what nature gave her. You see the hours she spent practicing, learning, refining. At first, she might downplay it. She'll say it's nothing, just a hobby, just something she does. That's social conditioning. But watch her face. The smile is real, then the effect builds. She starts sharing more of her work with you, not for validation, but because you've proven you actually care. You're not just nodding along, you're engaged. That makes her feel valued in a way surface compliments never could. Over time, this compliment can backfire if it's conditional. If your interest only exists when she's performing, creating, achieving, then the love starts feeling like pressure. She begins to wonder if you love her talent more than you love her. The compliment that felt like recognition becomes a standard she has to meet. Talent should add to love, not define it. I trust you completely. Trust is the foundation everything else is built on. When you tell a woman you trust her completely, you're handing her something fragile, your vulnerability, your faith. That's not casual. It's a declaration. Most relationships dance around trust for months, testing it in small ways, building it piece by piece. But when you say it outright, when you name it, the dynamic shifts immediately. At first, it feels like weight, responsibility. She knows what trust means. She knows how easily it breaks. So the compliment lands heavy. It's not just words. It's a contract. Then comes the deepening. Trust creates safety, and safety creates intimacy. She starts opening up in ways she wouldn't with someone still proving himself. She shares fears, mistakes, secrets she'd normally bury because you trusted her first. That vulnerability loop accelerates everything. The bond tightens fast. But here's where it gets dangerous. Trust spoken too early before it's earned feels like pressure, like you're putting responsibility on her she didn't ask for. Or worse, it feels manipulative, like you're trying to guilt her into loyalty. And if that trust is ever betrayed, if you pull it back or weaponize it later, the damage is permanent. Trust isn't just given, it's proven over time. The compliment works when it reflects reality, not when it tries to create it. You have great taste. Taste is curation. It's the choices she makes, the things she surrounds herself with, the details most people overlook. When you compliment her taste, you're saying you notice how she moves through the world. The books on her shelf, the music she plays, the way she decorates her space. That's intimacy without touch. It's paying attention. Women are told constantly what they should like, what's trending, what's acceptable. But taste is personal, unique. So when you recognize hers specifically, when you acknowledge the thought behind her choices, it separates you from everyone else. At first, the compliment feels light, pleasant. She might smile and thank you, but the effect runs deeper. You've signaled that you're someone who pays attention to details, someone who values individuality over conformity. That's rare. Then she starts testing you. She'll recommend a song, share an artist, suggest a restaurant. She's checking if your compliment was real or just politeness. If you engage, if you explore what she's shown you, the connection strengthens. Over time, this compliment builds a shared aesthetic between you. In inside jokes, private references, a world only you two understand. But there's a trap. If you start performing taste to match hers, if you fake interest in things you don't actually care about, she'll sense it, and the compliment that felt genuine becomes hollow. Taste can't be borrowed, it has to be real. You're so genuine. Genuine means real, unfiltered, honest in a world that rewards performance. When you tell a woman she's genuine, you're giving her permission to stop pretending. That's relief. Most people wear masks, social masks, professional masks, dating masks. Everyone's playing a version of themselves they think others want to see. But genuine, that's rare. At first, the compliment might confuse her. She'll wonder what you mean. What did she do that felt real? Then it clicks. You notice she's not performing. She's not trying too hard. She's just herself, and that's enough. The validation hits different. It's not about what she does or how she looks. It's about who she is. Then the walls start coming down. If you've told her she's genuine, she feels safe being even more genuine. She stops editing herself around you, stops second-guessing her words. The relationship accelerates because there's no pretense slowing it down. Over time, though, this compliment creates a standard. If she ever feels like she has to perform, even once, the cognitive dissonance stings. She'll wonder if you still see her as genuine or if she's failed the test. And if you're not genuine yourself, if you're still performing while praising her realness, the hypocrisy will eventually surface. Genuine only works when both people commit to it. Otherwise, it's just another mask with a prettier name. I love how you care about people. Caring is labor, emotional labor that often goes unnoticed, unrewarded, taken for granted. When you tell a woman you love how she cares about people, you're seeing something most people exploit without acknowledgement. That matters. Women are socialized to care, to nurture, to put others first. It becomes invisible, expected, the default setting. But when you name it, when you call it out as something you admire, you're validating effort she's been giving freely her whole life. At first, she might brush it off. She'll say it's just who she is, nothing special. But internally, something warms. Someone finally noticed. Someone finally said thank you. Then the effect deepens. She starts caring about you in visible ways. Small gestures, thoughtful messages, remembering details about your life. Not because she's trying to prove your compliment right, but because you've shown her that caring is valued here, not taken for granted. That reciprocity feels safe. Over time, however, this compliment can become a cage. If caring becomes her defining trait in your eyes, she might feel obligated to maintain it even when she's exhausted, even when she needs someone to care for her instead. The compliment that felt like recognition becomes an expectation she resents. Caring is beautiful until it's the only thing you see. She needs to know you love her even when she's too tired to care for anyone, including herself. I feel alive around you. Alive is energy, presence. The feeling that life is happening now, not later, not elsewhere, but right here in this moment. When you tell a woman she makes you feel alive, you're giving her power. You're saying she changes your chemistry just by existing near you. That's intoxicating. Most people move through life half asleep. Routines, habits, the same patterns on repeat. But when someone makes you feel alive, they become the exception, the break in the pattern. At first, the compliment feels huge, almost too big. She'll wonder if it's real or if you're exaggerating. But if your actions match your words, if she sees you light up when she enters a room, the doubt fades. Then comes the rush. She starts feeling it too. The energy between you becomes feedback loop. You make her feel alive because she makes you feel alive. Conversations go longer. Silence feels comfortable. Time moves differently. The connection intensifies fast because both of you are fully present. Over time, though, intensity is hard to sustain. Real life creeps back in. Work stress, bad moods, mundane days where nobody feels particularly alive. And if the relationship was built entirely on that high, the come down feels like failure. She'll wonder if she's lost whatever made you feel that way, if she's become boring, ordinary. Alive is a peak experience, but love has to survive the valleys too. The compliment works when it's a highlight, not the baseline. You make me want to be better. Better is transformation, growth. The idea that love isn't just comfort, but catalyst. When you tell a woman she makes you want to be better, you're saying she elevates you. She doesn't accept your excuses. She doesn't let you settle. That's respect dressed as romance. At first, the compliment feels powerful. She becomes more than a girlfriend. She becomes inspiration, purpose. The reason you started going to the gym, reading more, taking risks. She's the variable that changed the equation. That weight feels good at first, meaningful. Then the dynamic shifts. She starts taking responsibility for your growth. She encourages you, pushes you, holds you accountable. But quietly, she wonders what happens if you stop improving. Does the love fade? Was it ever about her, or was it about the version of you she helped create? Over time, this compliment can turn into pressure neither of you asked for. You feel obligated to keep improving to justify her faith in you. She feels obligated to keep inspiring you even when she's struggling herself. The relationship becomes a self-improvement project instead of a partnership. And if you slip, if you backslide into old habits, the disappointment cuts deeper because she believed you'd changed. Better is a beautiful goal, but it can't be the price of admission. She needs to know you want to be better because of her presence, not to earn her presence. There's a difference. You smell amazing. Smell bypasses logic. It hits the brain's limbic system, the ancient part that controls memory and emotion, faster than any other sense. When you tell a woman she smells amazing, you're not giving a surface compliment. You're creating an anchor, a sensory memory that ties you to her. At first, the compliment feels almost too intimate. Smell is personal, private. It's the perfume she chose, the lotion she uses, the natural scent of her skin. Complimenting it means you've been close enough to notice. That proximity matters. Then the chemistry kicks in. Every time you smell that scent again, your brain floods with associations. Her laugh, her warmth, the feeling of being near her. And she knows this. She starts wearing that perfume only for you. It becomes part of the ritual. Over time, the compliment deepens into something almost primal. Smell is tied to attraction in ways we don't fully control. It's why you can't force chemistry, why some people just smell right and others don't. When you tell her she smells amazing, you're confirming what her body already suspected. You're biologically compatible. But there's a vulnerability here too. If she changes her perfume or forgets to wear it, she might worry the attraction fades. The compliment that felt effortless becomes something she has to maintain. Smell should be noticed, not required. It's a detail that adds to desire, not the foundation of it. You challenge me. Challenge is friction, tension, the pushback that forces you to think harder, defend your ideas, question your assumptions. When you tell a woman she challenges you, you're saying she's not easy, and you like that. Most men say they want a challenge, but they don't. They want agreement, convenience, a woman who fits neatly into their life without disrupting it. But when you actually mean it, when you value her resistance, her disagreements, her refusal to just go along, you're offering something rare. Respect. At first, she might not believe you. She's been told her whole life that challenging men makes her difficult, argumentative, too much. So when you frame it as a compliment, it rewires something. She doesn't have to shrink. Then comes the shift. She stops self-editing, stops softening her opinions to make them more palatable. The conversations get sharper, deeper, more honest. You're not just talking to fill silence. You're engaging. That intellectual intimacy bonds faster than people expect. Over time, though, challenge needs balance. If every conversation becomes a debate, if she feels like she's constantly defending herself, exhaustion sets in. The compliment that felt like validation starts feeling like a job. And if you ever punish her for challenging you, if you get defensive or shut down, the trust shatters. You said you wanted it, but you didn't mean it. Challenge only works when it's mutual, when both people are strong enough to be wrong sometimes. Otherwise, it's just combat with prettier words.